All right. Yay. As Weston's playing DJ over there, go ahead and fade it out. Oh, yeah. Nice one, Weston. Woo. Hey, everybody. Welcome to This Pink Cloud, Season 2, Episode 16. Again, Part 2. Obviously, we were having a problem with our live feed, so just want to go over a few things. Basically, we have This Pink Cloud stickers now. You can get them at my website, djkellyreverb.com. What else? So, yeah, and the placement of the sticker onto the laptop. The official, not over the Sobar Basics.
No, can't
but
do that.
Just in the mix, like right. Oh, there we go.
Excellent.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Hey, so anyway, if you're just joining us, we are a show that is designed to help you obtain and maintain sobriety. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel at thispinkcloud.com. It'll take you right there. Hit subscribe because we're going to have some original content that CG Kid and I were talking about, and it'll just be exclusive to our YouTube channel. So you want to be sure and subscribe if you're a fan of the show. Other than that, I do have CG Kid in the studio, and I stepped on the intro. CG Kid's here. Yeah. Dusty Burrows is sitting in. There is a reason behind that. We actually have the professor, who is our normal co-host on the show, and he has actually relapsed. And we are, we're not here to celebrate the relapse, but our show is fully transparent, and relapse is real, and relapse happens. And, Nolan is brave enough. He feels like a complete dumbass. I know. He's told me, and, but he's transparent enough and open enough to share with us, what he's going through right now. And we just wanted to check in. And obviously, we're not doing this to exploit Nolan. We're doing this to, hopefully help somebody else where they don't, maybe fall into the same trappings of relapse, which, is pretty commonplace.
Absolutely.
But so is the professor with us right now? Or okay. That was fun. We got to do a mulligan on the show. If you saw us live for 2 seconds, we were having a little technical difficulties on the feed, but now we are back. And Nolan, you have fantastic facial hair today. Hold on. I think you might be muted, buddy. Nolan, you might be muted. Oh, there. Oh, yeah, you might want to turn down the music too, bud. There you go. There we go. Nolan, can you hear us?
Yeah. No. I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Nolan, can you hear me? I'm sorry, I was just doing a line from Frozen. All right,
no
dude.
Worries. Is that what we're going to do now? Just bring in the music every 45 seconds?
Exactly, dude. So, yeah, hey, the more I play that music, the more royalties I get. The more fractions of pennies I get, dude.
Revealing the real reason for the show, right?
Exactly, dude. It was all just a guise to, so I could get some royalties on some extra plays on YouTube. It was all just a guise. Hey, yeah, dude, but I really do.
You like this?
I do, man. I mean, you look like you could give Dusty Burrows some competition. It's not a bad look. At least it's.
I guess.
I mean, at least it's not like.
I guess this is a natural side effect of relapse. Is
right.
Suddenly the beard comes out.
Right. I mean, you're not too salt and pepper yet. I mean, there's a little salt in there, but yeah, you look good. I think you could actually rock a beard, man. I think that's a good look.
Yeah, no,
actually.
I had one for probably about 3 years before you met me.
Oh wow. Okay, I've only known the
Yeah.
clean shaven Nolan, but you could grow a rehab beard, dude, if you can handle it. You know. Hey, but okay,
Yeah, we'll see.
so first off, man, I really do appreciate you being transparent about this and sharing with everybody out there that you're actually you have gone beyond what we consider a slip, and you're into what we consider a relapse, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the certainly the definition there is, I guess, kind of fuzzy and subjective maybe, but no, I would certainly consider this past a slip,
Right.
mostly because of the length of it, which we're looking at about 6 weeks.
Right. You were saying in March, right?
Ramping up.
Yeah.
Yeah, ramping up over the course of that 6 weeks, of course.
Right.
But yeah, for about 6 weeks. And then also because I didn't, get honest about it or anything right away.
Right.
Like I was telling you, Kelly, it's funny. The best way I can say it is, like, my thinking is weird. It changes from time to time. If I'm not participating in recovery, my thinking will change without my permission or my or me being aware of it, for that matter. And then also, if I put any sort of substance into my body, my thinking will change without my permission or without me being aware of it.
Sure.
If you had asked me the day before I relapsed, well, first off, are you planning on relapsing anytime soon? I would have been like, no, why would I do that? And also, if you had asked me, would you get honest about it, reestablish, hop back on the horse, I would have been like, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But things changed once that stuff hit my body, I guess. And I decided to try and keep it a secret for a little over a month.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, no. And I mean, that's another thing, you just kind of went back to old habits. I mean, literally. And, the whole hiding thing and keeping things from people. I mean, as far as, what happened or how it happened, I mean, do you want to get into that, or do you want to just tell a brief story of kind of
I mean, I guess I could do briefly.
Yeah, kind of House of Cards thing,
Sure. I never watched House of Cards, actually.
Well, I meant like how it went from A to where you are right now.
I got you. I would say that there wasn't really anything obvious going on that would trigger a relapse, as far as like some big stressor in my life, some new change or something that might signal, hey, we're in a danger zone or something. But looking back on it, one thing that is true is I'd certainly kicked into a sort of autopilot when it came to recovery.
Right.
Maybe a bare minimum kind of autopilot thing.
Sure.
And,
yeah. No, I get that. Like we were, Dusty and I were talking on the other part of the episode when we first started. Yeah. But basically, I mean, I get it. Like you fall out of your routine that's helping you work sobriety. Yeah.
I had gone down from, what was essentially daily meetings to, 1 or 2 a week, daily, work with other alcoholics or talking with my sponsor to once or twice a week, disciplined prayer life to undisciplined prayer life, just skating by with bare minimum.
Right.
And, for someone like me, who is as serious of an addict or alcoholic as you can get, and also at the time was only, less than a year sober, 8 months sober.
Right.
That's not going to do. That's not going to do.
Sure.
At the time, I didn't recognize any of that stuff. At the time, I felt fine.
Yeah, that's how it seems to work, right? You think you've got it, and then you start getting complacent, and then you realize you don't have it.
Yeah. That's why community is so important.
Right.
That's why it's the one thing that, needs to be consistent above all else, really.
Yeah.
So someone can call you on your BS. So someone can say, dude, we barely even see you anymore.
Right. Well, I was noticing a change in your behavior when you were starting to show up late. I don't know if that was just because the drive's an ass whip, or probably a contributing factor was the fact that you probably felt a little guilty, right? Like showing up on a show about recovery and stuff, and kind of contradicting yourself.
Just general, depression and all of a sudden, because my mind is going a million miles an hour all the time, it's hard to get to sleep. It's hard to wake up. Everything goes out the window. I think everybody that has been in that life kind of knows the chaos that is.
Oh active. Yeah, there's no set time to go to bed and no set time to wake up, and yeah, it's just you wake up when the substance tells you to wake up, and when your body's going, oh yeah, we need more. Right?
Yeah, sometimes it's 12 hours of sleep, sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes you get right to sleep, sometimes it takes 4 hours, whatever.
Right.
But I would say that was a big reason. There certainly was a lot of guilt. I guess I might as well do that now. I certainly wanted to apologize to not just you, Kelly, the guys in the studio, everyone listening, apologies, guys.
Well, it's okay. I mean, the thing is that they always say is that, relapse is part of the recovery process. And I mean, I know it doesn't take the sting away or make anything better right now, but I mean, it's true. And the good thing is that you actually want to get help. And I know, cause I mean, you're looking at it and just, I mean, I would be kicking myself as well, and I get it. And, we're all human, dude. And we're, like I said, we're not here to exploit your situation, but, I don't
think it's very exploitable.
Right. Well, it is
I don't think there's a lot of money to be milked out of me at the moment.
Right.
No, that it's true. I do, for whatever reason, think that this happened for a reason.
Yeah.
What that is, I have no idea, but I do have that weird feeling that it did happen for a reason I can't seem to shake. So, but anyways, yeah, I mean, that's my, you're kind of starting to touch on it. Essentially I'll be going into treatment in the very, very near future.
Right. Now, do we know where that is?
Yeah. So I keep kind of wanting to go into this one place that's a really long-term place. 6 months to a year,
sure,
depending upon how you work it. So that is an option.
Right.
And then, and then there's a couple, I guess the answer is no, I don't know yet.
Well, I mean, hold on. Let me,
I've got a couple of options.
Let me work this in. There is always our lovely sponsor, Summer Sky, which is I know I've talked to Scott, and there is a standing invite for you to go back and, at least detox there. But, it is Stephenville, and you do have a room reserved for you. So, but I mean, while I'm at it, I went to Summer Sky, and that's, in case you don't know, I went to Summer Sky. That's where Nolan and I met. And, it's, it's working for me now, and I've had, almost coming up on 10 months of recovery, which, is all thanks to Summer Sky. And Nolan, you had a window of 8 months, so you can't look at it as a failure. Yep. You just look at the success that you had. I definitely don't look at it as a failure. It was, I had a great time in those 8 months. Yeah.
Good time.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I guess, I mean, are you thinking about today, or do you have any for sure plans, or?
No, I need to. There are a few financial things that I've almost wrapped up before I run away.
Yeah.
And so I need to work through this weekend.
Yeah.
And then I think after that, I'm basically good to go. So I'm guessing Monday Tuesday, somewhere in there.
Right.
But yeah, sooner the better. That's for sure.
Sure.
I need to go see my kiddos.
Yeah.
Which looks like is going to be tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, that's about it. Just a couple of little things before I run off.
Right, I got you. Well, yeah, definitely let me know so I can tell people where to send cards and letters. Do you hear me? So I can tell people where to send cards and letters. But no, and you know, I mean, we'll stay in touch, and you know, obviously, I'm going to have to work on getting a interim host for a while. So I guess that's kind of the obvious here. But you know, I really appreciate you sharing with us, and like I said, you know, we're behind you. Anything that I can do. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people in here that care about you, and out there. You know, and we just want the best for you, and you know, I'm proud of you that you're getting the help you need and not just disappearing and going wheels off. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I have the energy for that anymore.
Yeah.
That's a young man's game.
Yeah. Well, so other than that, I mean, you did your mea culpa. So, other than that, I mean, I guess we'll, you know, just keep us posted, and I'll give the folks on the show updates and all that fun stuff. But I'll let you, you know, get on with the process and whatever you have to get in place, you know, to get yourself some help.
And we love you, man. And
sounds good.
My mom is praying for you. I want you to know that she's a big fan of yours.
Cool. What is her name?
Joan.
Okay.
Yeah, Joan Kohlschmidt. That's my mom.
Nice. Shout out Dusty's mom.
Yeah.
Well, tell her thank you. I always like to know the names if I can. So thanks.
Yeah.
And yeah, other than that, bud, I mean, you know, I mean, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. And I've got some stickers for you. And
that should do it.
Yeah,
right.
I think that'll fix it all. And and then we have the shirts too. So you'll have if you do wind up at our favorite place, Summer Sky, I'll personally bring the shirt by.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just might. You know, you never know.
I would. I mean, you know, because I know Scott, you know, wants the best for you, and I think I think that's a good thing, and he already knows, you know, kind of your backstory and what's going on with you. So I don't think it would hurt. And then I definitely think a sober living that kind of makes you be present around other sober people, hopefully, if you get in a good spot.
Whatever I end up doing, I want it to have some time, a little bit of length of time, you know, sober living for 6 months after or whatever, you know, something like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, Nolan, dude, thanks. And, you know, we love you and we're praying for you. And, you know,
love you guys too.
Yeah. And go make daddy some money.
Sounds good.
All right, brother. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. All right.
Sounds
Peace
good.
out.
Have a good episode.
All right. Well, anyway, so, that is the update on the professor, man. I mean, it's like, I feel like I'm doing like reality TV here. You know, it sucks, but it happens. And I know that we were touching on something. I mean, as far as Relapse goes, you know, what do you got over there, Mr. Burrows?
Well, first of all, I mean, that's compelling stuff. You know, I relate to Nolan on so many levels. You know, I've been in recovery for years now, and I've had multiple relapses. And the most notable one that almost took me off the planet.
Right.
Everything was going great in my life. Had a new budding career. Mm-hmm. My family was healthy. I was physically healthy. I thought mentally healthy as well.
Sure.
And just goes very similar to his story. I stopped doing the things that created the success that I was experiencing, and I let my guard down. right? And addiction's always right behind us. You
Yeah.
know? It's always waiting for us. It doesn't matter that you're killing it in school, or you're doing well in your family, or you're having a new career, buddy.
It's not even like pursuing me. It's just chilling in the
just
corner.
there. It's always
just
there,
chilling, dude.
You know? It's never too busy
It's like,
for you.
hey, I'm always here for you, buddy. You know, you know. It's like,
So I think people have the misconception that something has to be going wrong in your life, that something has to trigger it. You know, somebody passes away, you lose a job, you know, infidelity, something like that. No, things can be going outstanding.
right.
And it's just as dangerous as it would be if something horrible happened in your life.
Sure. And CG, what's your take on the whole sitch? Whose phone is vibrating? Is that yours, Dusty? You're blowing up, dude.
Relapse, it's a hard one. I'm probably the worst person in the world to ask about relapse. I when I think about it, and I don't even know my experience too well, but if I were to like actually observe it, when my life's going good, I do a thing called a slip, and it's where I use once, enjoy it, don't use again, and I tend to make more out of it than what it is, which becomes like it could become a self-fulfilling prophecy for me, where honestly to avoid relapse. And this sounds like horrible. This is not advice at all, but it's like have a beer and not make a big deal about it.
Right.
Like, to me, that like it's the labeling and making it. You're going to definitely do this, this, and this, and this. If you have that beer, it's like putting it in my head. Now, typically, when I go down hard and I'm depressed in sobriety, like I'll be real, like it got so bad in sobriety when I used it relieved it. And I've heard, they're a solution, but they don't work for long. And I agree with that. Obviously, I don't use like now,
Right.
but I'm in a very long game, In other words, when I was so depressed, sober, and I used again, it actually saved my life, and it did work for a while. So I didn't have it was about a year of taking prescribed Adderall or Vyvanse, smoking weed, drinking, and the way I avoided it, stop working was taking tolerance breaks. I called it post-cycling. And overall, it's not like my life got super better, but it got way better than I was when I was sober. So right now, it's the point for me is not relapse prevention. That's like living in some kind of future outcome. The point is optimizing my reality today and living in the present moment.
Sure.
So like what I'm saying is, obviously, when I was sober and I was really miserable, when I look back, obviously I was medicating something. And a lot of my drug use, chronic relapser, I was always medicating something.
Right.
And I always tried doing that a certain way with mind-altering substances. And the only difference is now I'm doing body-altering substances. So
right. Well, and you're also, but I mean, even though you don't really see it as that, but you are working your recovery. You are because honestly, I mean, when you talk to me about working out and doing all this good stuff.
That's all body altering.
Yeah, but for your body. But then the result is, you feel great, so you're not running away from anything or trying to mask that great feeling. You're just feeling great and living in sobriety.
With the drug use, like the reason I don't use the drugs as the solution mainly is just the modification of behavior can be pretty. It's like you don't feel like it's truly you when you behave a certain way. And then as a very long-term, long game solution, like I said, the long game, like it was working, and I'm sure it would have worked. I wouldn't bet against myself and say it was guaranteed to fall out soon, imminently. But, the long game of now you're 50, now you're 60, now you're 70, and you've been drinking and taking Vyvanse regularly. And, it's just in the long game. It's like this isn't feasible. It eventually is going to bottom out for me. But it gets into this very weird area because someone who takes like antidepressants for depression.
Sure.
Are they chemically dependent? Sure.
Right.
Their life's way better. In the long game is that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Eventually
no.
the drugs will wear down and stop working. So as a solution, that's why I like, and I'm not a doctor at all, but when doctors present medication as a bridge to get somewhere else.
You're talking about MAT.
Yeah,
Correct.
medically assisted, but even in general, like when, because I was put on antidepressants and Vyvanse, and even using like alcohol for anxiety, like these things actually were a way to get somewhere else. That's why I stopped taking them.
Right.
Because like maybe the Vyvanse helped me focus on actually building up my body, my community. Right. But that's the thing. It's really hard because like the recovery community, it's really hard to connect to them unless you're a part of this, like, really, I mean, I think everybody has a desire to not drink alcohol at some fundamental level because it's just not good for your body.
Right.
You know? But,
sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, look, I'm not
like if you could just feel relaxed without drinking, then your desire is to feel relaxed. It's not to drink the alcohol.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it makes total sense. And I mean, I get it. It's just like, you know, you just like, you know, I used alcohol to mask my anxiety. And I've said this before, but then it just got to a point to where it was the solution and the only solution. And I love it how Dusty just sits back, counselor style. Like,
I could be justifying. I don't know.
No. But I mean, I did it to mask my anxiety. And also, I guess Weston, if you want to pull that, I always like to use this as my daily reminder. If you want to show that nightstand, I took a picture of this last night because I wanted to share this and show you that it's real. I mean, besides all the cool shirts we have coming, but that's my nightstand, by my bed. And that is where I used to fall out and hit my head on multiple occasions, as you see on my Liberace style furniture there. But I used to fall out of bed wasted and hit my head and then just try to go back to sleep or go get another drink. I mean, that's how bad it got for me. But I mean, my experience is once I got that window of clarity, then I wanted to go and give sobriety a chance. And I mean, is there real stuff that I have to deal with? Like still problems? Are the problems still there? Yeah, they're there, but I'm able to deal with them differently, clear-minded, clarity, sober. So, I mean, that's, I'm not a teetotaler. Like, I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I mean, everybody has their own definition of sobriety. And it's, what works for you. Hey, man, if you have a problem with something, then I would address the problem. And that's all I'm trying to say. I mean, alcohol was a problem for me, and I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to tempt fate and go back to that lifestyle and being unable to function and leave the house, like come to the studio without, having a little liquid help, I mean, and that's kind of what's keeping me from relapsing, and also, the community aspect, which I love because I love SoBar Basics and all the events they throw. If you want to, go ahead and why don't you plug the event you have coming up, Dusty?
Well, yeah, sure. SoBar is a community of people that I created years ago, and actually I got the idea for it when I was in treatment after a relapse. And I had seen a group of people that were working at the treatment center at the time, Windmill, and they had such a community that I was envious of. They were going out every night. They were hugging, loving on each other. They were going to float the river. They were doing all these great things. And I was like, that's what's missing in my recovery.
Sure. So
as soon as I get out of here, I'm going to create that.
It's like fun in recovery, right?
Because in my area, I didn't know where it was available. So I was like, okay, well, it's not there, so I'm going to make it happen. So years later, now SoBar Basics is a thriving recovery community here in the DFW area. Mm-hmm. And so on May 23rd, we're going to have a nice event with the Phoenix, which is another recovery community, at Grapevine Lake from noon to 3. So if you're interested, go to SoBarBasics.com. It will take you to the Facebook page, and it will give all the details there and the address. And we're going to have mountain biking, kayaking, paddleboarding, volleyball, and food. And who doesn't like food? And it costs nothing to you. Just we ask that you've been sober 2 days.
2 days.
So 2 days.
2 days.
So bring your friends and come check it out.
I plan on staying sober that long.
Me too. Yeah. So whether you're in recovery, whether you're sober curious, whether you're just sober for the month of May, we don't really care. Even if you're just sober for those 2 days, come hang out with us. See what it's all about. I have people that aren't even in recovery from addiction that come to these events because you're going to encounter people that are positive and driven and wanting to be healthy and wanting to build community. So not everybody out there is in recovery from addiction, but they're looking for a different alternative lifestyle to what they're already leading. And this kind of community is what we provide. Not just our community, but the Phoenix, Skate Straight, etc.
Yeah. And I was going to say, Skate Straight also has the Phoenix as well there on Saturdays. That's the meeting I go to. And they do yoga, and it's great. And it's mindfulness and, working on yourself and working on, your body and your chakras and all that kind of fun stuff, right?
I like it.
Yeah, and I wanted to add something, Kelly, too, is, relapse is definitely part of this process, because one of the questions that I ask when people come in, like for an intake, have you tried to stop quitting using or drinking and were unsuccessful? And if the answer is yes, then you've kind of experienced a relapse already, and that's how you know that you have a substance use disorder.
Well, it's funny because CG and I were talking about relapse on the way here, and he goes, "Have you ever relapsed?" And I go, we came to the conclusion that pretty much daily I relapsed, because I wanted to quit, but I could not quit. But every day I go, okay, not gonna drink today. Absolutely. And hey, that didn't work out. So I had multiple relapses before I got sober. So
that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a week or a month or 6 months or 6 years.
Right.
Once you know you have that
I had a relapse every 6 hours.
Every 6 hours. You can say, hey, okay, this is enough. And you reach out. Reach out to somebody in your community. Reach out to our community if you don't have one. Reach out to Kelly, CG, myself. We're here. We can help you find a spot. So it doesn't. And each and every time I've had a relapse, I learned lessons that I would not have learned otherwise. The unfortunate part is it can take us out, literally.
Yeah. So. No, I agree. Yeah. When you start flirting with, alcohol, don't get me wrong. Alcohol can be serious if enough is taken. But, there is stuff that if you do alcohol with, benzodiazepines. I always like to say that word. But, that can kill you. What I was doing could have killed me. You don't have your nightstand look like that by faking it, that's not just he got too drunk that time, and that's like a reoccurring problem when you're falling out of bed. But so CG, you got anything to add?
It's got me thinking about it's knowing yourself, knowing your body, knowing your mind, knowing how you react to every substance. It's not just drugs. It's how do you react to Netflix? How do you react to sex? How do you react to food?
Right.
This is just a part of gaining wisdom over time. It's knowing how you react personally, how I react. It's like knowing my relationship with just going into drugs. It would be, I don't get an alcoholic reaction. That's just not me. Because in the big book of the literature of Alcoholics Anonymous, my favorite part is when it's separating the hard drinker from the alcoholic. And a lot of people, when they go and they look at addiction from the outside looking in, they think that there's a choice to stop. There's no choice to stop. And I know this because of my relationship with marijuana. I know what it's like to lose power of choice to a substance and lose power of my choice to other things in my life, where it's only an illusion that I can stop. But it's very important I know myself. And that's where it becomes very... Because there was a thing where Demi Lovato came out and she was talking about being California sober, where she's in recovery, but she drinks and smokes weed. Or I think she just said she smokes weed. And then people were literally pounding on her door about, this is the problem with the community of recovery, in my opinion.
Okay.
Is it comes across as a tribe. It is, we are in the tribe, you're not in the tribe. Because it was the whole point of people commentating, it seemed like a very key motive was, you're not clean, we're clean. We have the label. And it comes across as this. They think that this makes them look strong because they're sober. But honestly, I look at it and it's I'm seeing all these people that have a very low sense of self.
Sure.
That they have to label somebody separate from them, and
Right.
that they're a part of a thing that this person can't participate in anymore.
Right.
But that's like the recovery community. It just bothers me because I think that her honesty and her way is very similar to my way. Because she was doing, she had a problem with the eating disorder, and she was saying, you know, why was I successful with this, but I'm not successful with drugs? And she said, well, with my eating disorder, the way I did it was not such an extreme. It was not such a abstinence 100%, because she knew herself. She said,
Sure.
I would eat things like Taco Bell, and then I would just not make a big deal about it and fast. And
Right.
then, so with drugs, she decided to take this middle ground. And it goes back really to what I was saying, that if I drink, it can be a self-fulfilling process. If that's how I work it. So then some people,
Sure.
now the community, some people will just ostracize me because I don't fit into that tribe.
Right.
It's
Well,
very hard to connect to people
right.
on that.
Well, hey, just so you know, Dusty and I do not ostricize.
Well, not everybody.
And,
It's just,
and I mean, I try to look at it, you know, across the board. I mean, you know, I see how some people, you can get an idea that they are maybe, you know, a little standoffish. Oh, well, you're not one of us, you know. But I mean, that might be just something in your own mind that you're like, oh, that guy's like really proud of his sobriety, you know.
I will say this, in the 12-step program, they have the 11th tradition, which says, what is it? We need to always maintain, well, we're based on attraction, not promotion. We need to always maintain anonymity at the level of press, radio, and film.
Yeah.
Well, Facebook, back when they wrote that, press was newspapers, things like that. Facebook is press.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful when you're going out there, because if I was a using addict and I saw this commentary on Demi Lovato, I would want what she has. I wouldn't want what they have, because she seems to have more of a sense of self to stand up there and be proud of and be honest. And then these people are like, it's just very childish, because the whole point and my understanding of the 11th tradition is that if somebody's cousin has a drug problem, if they see that, they won't tell the person to go to the 12-step program anymore. They'll say, just smoke weed.
Sure.
You know, and that 12-step program could have been just what they needed. Now, if those person come out and it doesn't seem so tribal and vicious,
Right.
then maybe it would be like, hey, I've seen that and I've seen this, and provide. Am I making any sense? I don't know if I'm making any sense.
You are. I think that's the beauty of creating a community where you accept people that come from all pathways, that practice all pathways. Because if I choose a pathway like Demi Lovato, for instance, and I'm unsuccessful about it, and I'm in a community of accepting people, I can look over and go, I'm going to do it like Philip does, or I'm going to do like Kelly does, because I was unsuccessful in the way I do it. So I'm going to, because I'm already part of something.
Right.
Now, if I'm ostracized for the way I do it and I found that it's not working for me, where am I going to go?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, yeah, and I mean, that's where you can get into self-isolation and all that kind of fun stuff, and we know where that leads.
Because the research and the numbers show that people recover from addiction in so many ways, and the majority of those people don't do it through traditional programs.
Right. Yeah.
That's just facts.
Right. Well, I mean, and to be honest, I mean, God, I mean, you could probably give me some figures on this, but they were coming out. The success rate of you actually stopping drinking is about 2%. You know, and that's what I think that was the figure in my head, and I was like, oh, well, I mean, I got out, and I was honestly, I didn't know if I wanted to stop drinking, but then I've just made it a daily, and it truly is a daily thing, you know, where I just go day by day. Because if I look at the big picture, like you were saying, man, that's heavy for somebody, you know, with 30 days sobriety, thinking of forever. You know, I mean, my God, dude, I can't, I just made it 30 days, but forever is, you know, impossible to fathom.
The metrics on success rates are kind of a joke, because a lot of them are put together by treatment centers. So if you're
80%.
If you graduate from a treatment center and they call you a few weeks later and they go, "Hey, you still sober?" You're like, yeah, you know,
right. As Dusty's making the drinking motion.
Self-disclosure. So it's not really, there is no standard for that.
They're not testing
and manipulate them to make their program look
more successful.
Shiny.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And then, you know, of course, with so many millions of people in AA and the anonymity and the confidentiality of that, how are they going to get real metrics from that as well? So
yeah. Well, and then I mean, you can be, that's why one of the things in the 12 steps is honesty, and I mean, shoot, the professor will, I mean, he was lying for about 6 weeks. I always wonder, because every once in a while there's somebody in one of the rooms and I'll go, this guy's, when was your sobriety date, or whatever. But, it's just, I'm doing it. I'm doing it for myself. I mean, I'm being selfish and I like this version of me, and I like the functionality of this version of me and the mindfulness and all that stuff. I'm still just as fun, but other than that, you got anything to add? Anybody?
Well, I
Jump
mean,
in.
I think, when I said know yourself, I know myself, and then there's another side of knowing you're an alcoholic or an addict, like knowing you're the type to lose power choice, for instance. I don't hang around people that are in the middle ground that smoke weed. And if they're in the middle ground and drink, no big deal. So in a way, like, I'm not really for the labeling, but I understand the caution and to have okay.
Yeah.
Like if I know I'm the type that if alcohol enters my body, I'm not going to stop.
Yeah.
Then I should avoid being in a bar. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
and that's
well-
not judging the people in the bar and saying, hey, I'm separating
yeah.
myself from you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it gets into this, really, when I'm honest with myself. I try to be humble, kind. I try to find peace, and I try to mind my own business.
Yeah.
I find an answer that works for me, and I think it's okay that I say, they smoke weed, I can't be around them.
Right. I
and
understand that,
that's
but and
totally
a lot of people will say that, like, okay, if you hang around the barber shop enough, you're gonna get a haircut, right?
Yeah, so like I would just say,
I
leave it
understand
there.
that.
Yeah.
I understand that, and I mean, I have been tempted since I've been sober, at different gigs, and people are partying, and I'm like, oh well. I used to be one of those people, and I literally have to be cognizant, and that's where the cognizant and the honesty with yourself, just thinking that there could be a possibility of going back to what was, is enough to keep me on this sober path that I'm on.
And I don't think that the people that are labeling somebody as like using or clean and making a big deal of this, I don't think they're actually malicious.
Right.
At the end of the day, I think that they're afraid of something.
Yeah.
And they're being overly like. And my thing is, when it's thrown out there publicly, I don't think you guys realize how that can come across to somebody else. Who's not a part of this world. That's all I would share. But I understand like where they're coming from, and I think that their approach is their approach, and it should be respected just as much as the middle ground approach. But the middle ground people don't tend to be coming out like, oh, you're in the sober group. You know what I mean? They can, though. That has happened where there are memes on the internet. Like, once you get sober, you find God, and then it's like those funny memes. So it's really like, it doesn't matter what other people do. I'm just observing. I'm trying to observe how other people do things and deciding what's best for me. And what's best for me is to be, exactly, you said it, cognizant. That's it. Yeah. Cognizant in all my affairs with everything.
And also just, being happy with yourself. I mean, if being happy with yourself is, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I mean, sobriety is working for me. That's why I'm, kind of preaching it. But, if you don't have a problem, then, party on, Garth. You know what I mean? I'm just like, hey, you got anything to add, Dusty?
All I can say is this is a really solid way of life. It allows me to have the ability to stay present. I'm not worried about the things that I did in the past.
Sure.
I'm not worried. I'm not future tripping.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to connect with the present,
Yeah.
with people that I love, with my kids, with my family, with my peers, and just appreciate the moment and be grateful. And I never had that before.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that in your life and you want that, then we have something for you.
Yeah.
And you can decide how you want to implement that.
Right. As a RSPS, I would go, oh, okay, well, what do you think might work for you? And then, oh, well, this is what worked for me. But and I'd be happy to put you in touch with whoever. I mean, but I mean, everybody has a different level, and you just have to. That's the thing. Everybody is different, and my story is not going to be your story or your story. But I mean, I just, I personally think it's a better way of being because I'm experiencing, life for the first time in 25 years as a sober person. A lot of first for being sober, and I don't know. I mean, from where I was to where I am now, I'm sticking with where I am now, and it's just a better way of being and all that good stuff. But so we gotta also I want to throw this out there. If anybody wants to be a guest on the show, hit me up. If you've got somebody or know somebody it would be a good guest for the show, come on and talk about. I'm trying to get somebody on from Dogs Matter, but they're kind of a quiet organization, so maybe I need to have old Shaughnessy on, Casey on.
Yeah,
to
we get
to,
Cassie up in here.
Yeah, Cassie on to talk about it. But and then also there's a Cornbread Hustle that's out there that I want to get them on the show.
Hey, Sherry.
Huh?
I love Sherry.
Yeah. But so you already know her.
I'm
There
really
you
good
go.
friends with her.
Well, maybe you can put in a call and she can be on the show next week.
I stink.
that's old CG Kid's
I
mind.
stink.
What a goofball. Love it. But, other than that, I appreciate you guys filling in kind of last minute for me. And, I plan on doing the show, preaching the gospel, so to speak, or just trying to get help, I mean, if you think you have a problem, then reach out to us and we can, between the three of us, we can give you some advice and try to help your situation. I mean, there are signs of maybe having a problem, like, for example, my nightstand. If you have a nightstand that looks like that, then, you might want to, do some introspection and have some self-honesty, because without me being honest that there was a problem, then I would still be out there just 3 times a week saying what's up to the dude in the liquor store, and asking about his family and talking small talk, because that's where it was, man. I mean, But other than that, I want to thank you guys for coming out. I know you had something you wanted to, you were going to plug.
Yeah, I just want to, for those who don't know, I'm a professional counselor at Texoma Community Center out in Sherman, and we serve Grayson, Fannin, and Cook counties. So if you or somebody you love or know needs services out there, give me a call out there. Come see me. We have an outstanding substance use disorder program, as well as many other programs. So reach out to me, hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, and I can get information for you on that. We have a wonderful team out there, and we're doing a lot of big things in the community.
Sweet. I love to hear it. CG, anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, stink.
Yeah, anyway.
I just want to plug, just so everybody knows, it's legal to buy a prairie dog.
There you go. Well, I mean the important stuff. But if y'all don't know, CG Kid has a channel on YouTube with about 1 million subscribers, so it's just like insane. So he's a YouTube superstar.
Oh God. Think that.
You're a social influencer. Hey, real quick also, and if you want to pull up those shirts, Weston, Summer Sky has been nice enough, summersky.us has been nice enough to co-op some shirts with me. That one is on the site right now and is not a co-op. That is a direct-to-garment. But this one right here, and then the one that just has, that's the back of it. And then, is that the only one you got? Do you have the other one with just the, and then there's the other one with the pink cloud. Those are going to be available on djkellyreverb.com. Probably next week, but hey, and there's my dresser again. Yeah,
that's where the shirts are stored.
That's right, dude. Whatever, dude. I have a box, and then, But yeah, I appreciate you. And if you guys are looking for help, reach out to us personally. If you want to be on the show, reach out. And then, you know, just be a better human and just try to, you know, be the best version of you. And, you know, if that happens to have sobriety linked in, then maybe do that, huh?
Just
Well,
be kind.
Yeah, there you go.
It's so simple.
There you go. And be kind to yourself, Dusty.
Start there.
There you go. Hey, Anna Weston, if you want to go ahead and play us out, but remember, kids, there is no magic pill for sobriety, because if there was, we would all take too many.
Drop the ball down.